Hello everyone and welcome back to Passion Sundays, the best way to end the week and start another. Our guest today is a bit of a weirdo. He is the author of the book Freak Factor, a converted professor who became a speaker that shows people how to use their weaknesses and honor them to become strong. David, thank you very much for being here today. It's awesome. Very excited to be with the freak man himself. And obviously now, how can we bring freaky passion into life?
Yeah, well, I think one of the things people are always looking for is more energy, right? Sometimes what I say at the beginning is, how many of you would like to have more energy at the end of the day than you had at the beginning? And everybody says yes. And I think the way to do that is to tap into our passion. And our passion is our strengths. The things that naturally give us energy naturally fill us up. But too often we're busy, instead of doing those things, we're busy doing things that require us to fix our weaknesses. It requires us to be someone else. It requires us to do things that we don't like and that we're not very good at. And so I think passion has a huge impact on the energy we bring to our life and our work. And I think tapping into that and recognizing passion is directly related to strengths. Oftentimes, when we're in our area of strength, when we're in our area of passion, it can look like we're disciplined, it can look like we're dedicated, but all we are is devoted to whatever it is that we're doing.
I like the word devotion over discipline.
Yeah.
That being said, not everybody is as lucky to first know their passion.
Yeah.
How do you find passion when you don't know what it is?
Yeah, so I think one of the things is just start with your daily activities. When are activities draining me? When are activities filling me up? When does time seem to fly? When does time seem to go so slowly it seems like this is never going to be over? And just start tracking it, right? When am I energized? When am I drained? When do things seem to be going well? What's going poorly? When do I get praised? When do I get criticized? And just tracking those things and starting to look for common themes, starting to look for a common direction, and start to daily, even if just in a small way, it doesn't have to be about quitting a job or starting a new direction right away. It's how do I start just changing it, having just a little bit more of those things that I'm passionate about involved in each day, even if it's not at work, experimenting on the side with things that we might be interested in our hobbies and in our free time, but just trying to identify those things. I think you're right, awareness is the first part. If you don't know what it is, you can't tap into it. So starting to look, when am I energized, when am I feeling good, when am I feeling passionate, and what are those things I'm doing, how can I reproduce that?
So amazing. You talk about doing things on the side while you're at a job, if it's not truly your passion, while you kind of build up towards your passion. But that journey must be draining also. So we all run low on energy, and for you to have hit the success you've hit today, and again, you were a professor, and for you to be doing what you're doing today must have been a big transformation, going from standing in a room as a professor into wearing pink pants on stage and being paid for it. So how do you find passion and energy when you're actually going low?
Well, I think it gives you, I think just because it takes more time to maybe do something on the side, do something extra, if it does in fact, if it's your passion, it oftentimes energizes you and fills you up. So let's say you have a really long, difficult day at work. If you leave work and then go do something you're passionate about, you may find out that at the end of that activity, you actually feel more energized than when you left work. So instead of seeing time as draining our energy or effort as draining our energy, it's recognizing that oftentimes it's the activity that drains our energy. And so sometimes the key to more energy is getting more involved in those activities, even if it requires extra time. So I'm in a different time zone. I'm on the other side of the world. I've been traveling for 2 weeks. All these different kinds of things would seem to leave me drained. And in fact, right now I'm tremendously energized because I just got done doing what I love to do. I'm getting a chance to talk about something that I really care about. And I feel super energized right now. I don't feel drained. So it's not the time, it's the activity and what the activity does to us. And so even if we have to spend extra time or sort of stay up late to do those things, we can actually find that it fills us up instead of empties us out.
I love it. So I think I've got one more question to conclude with, which is relating to your freak factor philosophy, is that a lot of times our passions disagree with everyone and everything around us. And a lot of times we're as far away from where our passion should be. I mean, my case, and I ended up having to buy a one-way ticket to India to find my passion. But what's the way to find that if your freaky passion is so far away from where you are today? And what can you add to that?
Yeah, it's a great point. I mean, one of the things I talk about is alignment, right? Finding the right fit. And sometimes the right fit isn't near to us. It's not around us. I was talking to a guy one time in Western Australia who wanted to be a fashion designer, and he lived in a small town, and he said, I'm weird and nobody gets me. And I said, where do they do fashion in Australia? He said, Sydney. I said, well, you need to go to Sydney. And you think you're weird here, but when you went there, you wouldn't seem weird. And the people here don't respect the thing you want to do, but the people there do, and there's a place for you there, right? There's a place for you there. So I do think you're right. I think it's sometimes people say, I can't be this because of where I am. Well, then the question is, then why are you there, and how could you find that place that rewards you for who you are? So that's what I'm big on. Find that place that puts the spotlight on who you are, and the best things about who you are, takes the spotlight off of your weaknesses, the things you don't have. And it does require some effort sometimes, but it requires a lot more effort to change who we are than to change where we are.
I love it. So basically, the simplest way to pursue your passion is actually change where you are rather than changing who you are.
Find that
Awesome.
spot.
Thank you very much. This has been very practical. I'm sure our viewers would love it. Thank you very much, and stay freaky.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, sir. Awesome. Passion! What do you think? I would really love to hear your opinion. If you'd like to stay engaged, subscribe to our social media channels, and if you want even more valuable interviews and tips and tricks on how to live passionately, then go to mustafahamwi.com and subscribe to our Passion Sundays newsletter. Until the next episode, live passionately.